How are we doing, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Getting Jiggy With It. Today we're going to open up our voted on game for this Saturday for me and Adri to play. So you guys voted on Disney Villainous. So this game has been out for a little while. I think this is the third printing, which you can tell because it says the worst takes it all down here in the bottom. I believe this game came out in like 2016, maybe. This one, of course, is 2019. The instructions are 2019. So like I said, it is the third printing. There are 3 expansions. We do have all of the expansions. We'll open up each of those individually as we are playing them, but of course this is the one that we have been testing to figure out how to play. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get this wonderful lid off. Now I do like that they do have some like little metallic finish to the lettering, if you see that there. So it's got a little metallic finish. And of course, since Maleficent is on the cover, we know she is going to be in here. So the first thing we have here is me covering up what I'm looking at over there. Let's put this over on this side. So you do have the instructions. The instructions are very basic. There's not a lot to them because this is a pretty simple game. And I'll go over some of the game components and how it plays in this video. But of course, when we go live, I will do a rundown, a more intensive or more detailed rundown of how each of the characters and different things work. But basically, you get these player boards. So we do have a player board for each character. So you have Prince John, Ursula, Maleficent, Jafar, Captain Hook, the Queen of Hearts, and we're back to Prince John. So each one of them has their own difficulty level. Prince John is probably one of the easier ones. You can see here he has an objective. And each one of them is going to have a different objective. So he has to get 20 power, which is basically the currency of the game. It's how you play the game. We keep calling it energy, but it's actually called power. I guess they could have been cute and just called it different things based on the character. Like for him, it could have been like gold or coins or something like that. And then so here we can see another one. So Ursula, of course, you have to start your turn with the trident and the crown on Ursula's lair. So there are game mechanics that will require, for example, she needs to get them down here on her lair. And we got over here is the palace. And you see this little lock. This is locked at the beginning. So Ursula has this mechanic where she moves people around. She puts spells on them by writing contracts. And you have to basically get them down to her. It's a little bit more detailed than that. But like I said, when we play these characters, we will go over each of their things that they need to do. So you do get one for each of the characters in the game. The second thing you get is a deck of cards for each character. You notice these are all out of their packs because we have played each character. I just kept ramping up my difficulty level with Adri, and she kept switching her characters as well. So we got through all the characters to see which ones we like. So this is Maleficent's deck, so I guess we'll go through this. So you get 2 decks. You get the Fate deck, which is basically the deck that your opponent is going to play against you. And then you have your player deck. So in the player deck, and you can see here, it is beautiful, beautiful art in all of these. Even in the expansion, which has the villain for Rapunzel, I can't remember her name, they actually have this type of art. It's not the digital 3D animated art from the movie. But here you go. So you can see there are a couple duplicates, but each one of them is going to allow Maleficent to do things. So for example, here, during the other player's turn, if that player defeats a hero, then you are also able to defeat a hero. And the reason you want to defeat the heroes is they might be blocking something you're trying to do. And I know, for example, Maleficent, she's got these curse cards because that is her objective, is to curse all of the land so that way she can win the game. There we go. Those are the cards for Maleficent, just to kind of show you the art in there. And then the second thing you get is a deck of the hero cards, or the Fate cards, which include the different heroes from the game. So I think these are really nice looking as well. You get usually there's one of each hero, so it's kind of neat. They don't double up. Now the guards will double up because they're just generic guards. But of course, there's only one king, there's only one Merryweather. And then there are additional heroes, as well as items that you can attach to the heroes. For example, if you attach this sword to a hero, it gets an additional 2 strength. And the strength comes into this game that you need to have as much strength, if not more, than who you're going up against to be able to beat them. So for example, Flora here has 3 strength, so you would need to have 3 or higher to beat her. Like I said, each one of them gets a different deck of cards. I do like, they all share a similar theme. with the back. I do like these backs are really nice. They kind of all have the same theme where it's a, I don't know, I guess a base and then elements going up on a straight line. So I do like that. It's kind of cool on all the cards. There's the other ones are upside down there. So the rest are for Captain Hook, but you do get those for each of them. And the art is really nice on all of them. I like the art a lot. That's one thing I say when we open Pokemon cards, right, is I really like the artwork. And that's what I kind of look for when I buy games, is do they have good art? Or did they cheap out and get some generic artist that really doesn't have any skill? Which I shouldn't say. If an artist can draw anything, they've got a little bit better skill than I probably have. The next thing you get is a villain guide. So you get one villain guide per villain. So again, here is Prince John. This guide is honestly about as much as you need for a new player to learn how to play the game. It tells you their objectives. It tells you some special thing about them. In this case, it is his jail location. It tells you about the cards, so his effects and item cards, and how he can use them to profit in the game. And then he's got a couple more on the back here. He has special fate cards that can steal his power from him. And then you have your enemies, and it kind of shows you some of the hero's abilities and how you might want to combat them. So you get one of those for each one of the characters, and they're really nice. They've all got that same really wonderful art. Those are in the wrong spot, but there you go. They all have wonderful art. And then the last thing they give you, at least from each player perspective, in terms of how to play the game, are these little action cards. So this will tell you what each of these symbols do, which after you play the game a couple times, you kind of figure them out, but it's nice for new players. It tells you what all the symbols on the map do. And then on the back, which is kind of helpful, is it tells you all the villains' objectives. So this is best for you because you need to know what you need to do to compete against those villains. So that's a nice little add-on there when you're first learning how to play, until you know what all the villains do. And if you get the expansions are going to have another 9 villains that you have to try to remember. All right, for your tokens, you get these little tokens here. So this is the Fate token. So we play 2-player games, so this doesn't come in. But if you're playing more than a 2-player game, then this Fate token comes in, and it basically stops somebody from ganging up. Like everybody from ganging up on one person, you can't do the Fate to that person until somebody else has Fate done to them. And then you get the locks. So there's 3 locks because there's only 3 of the characters have a location locked on their maps at the beginning of the game. The other tokens that you get are the power tokens. Now, we didn't really care for these power tokens. They're really generic. There's not really much to them. They're just little circles. So what we actually did is we went on to Amazon, and for, I think it was less than $10, we actually picked up some of these little gems, and we figured, oh, we can use these for all kinds of games. So we grabbed a couple of these colorful gems, and these we think work way better than what came in them. Now I understand they want to keep the cost down, so of course they didn't have anything, but if you are a gamer, these can come in real handy in almost any game as some kind of token for money, for, I mean, it looks like a jewel or a gem. These little blue ones, when we play Starcadia Quest, I think I might use for the objective markers, things like that. But I'll have links to those down below. If you want to support the channel, we'll have Amazon links to everything that I show you guys today, including these little bits. The next thing is, and again, it's very, very cheap. I mean, it's kind of just simple plastic. They gave you this little, I don't know, volcanic bowl pot thing, and that's where you're supposed to put all the tokens for you to take out. Again, we were already buying things for our gaming. When we played the Marble United, we were like, where are we going to put all these pieces? Where are we going to put all these things? So we actually picked these up. These are dice or game boxes? Trays? We'll go with trays. And we needed these anyways to roll dice, but they're really nice. These ones are nice because they have these little button-up snaps here. So if we button up all of these here like this, and they weren't that expensive either. These ones had the snaps, and there were only 4. They were slightly, I want to say slightly more. They're about $1 more than buying the 8-pack. But these were the colors we liked. We liked the darker colors. The other one was more of lighter colors. But there you go. So you can roll your dice in them. You have your gems and things. There you go. You put those in there so that way you can have all your pieces out of the way, easy to get to. And there's 4 in the box. I think this one is purple, black, a green, and like a dark pink. So same thing, we'll have a link to that in the show notes. Really helpful if you're going to play any type of game, because token management in some games just goes all over the place. All right. The last thing is this game doesn't have miniatures. Instead, what they have are these little iconic token type pieces. So this one here, of course, is for King John. It is his, I guess, supposed to be like a goblet of some type. Then you have Maleficent here. So she is green, has her characteristic horns there. You have Ursula, which is probably one of the harder characters to play. I did play her. I think I did lose playing her. She's very hard to play. This is Ursula, so kind of gave the little squid and like her hair style going on. You have the, I was going to say the Queen of Hearts because I was picking up a red piece, but no, this is Captain Hook. So big swirl on his hair, on his hat, or his big feather. So it's supposed to, I mean, it kind of looks like, I guess it could be a character, a humanoid looking character. You have Jafar, so same thing. They had his shoulder pads and his hat. And then the last one you have is the Queen of Hearts. So same thing, they kind of made her pattern for her dress there. But there you go, that is the Queen of Hearts. Now, we have not gotten the Marble Villainous, and I've heard the quality of the pieces in Marble Villainous went down just a little bit when it comes to these token pieces. And I think that had a lot to do with the current world state, right? They had to get things put out before the manufacturing really shut down, but I digress on that, guys. But this is this is Disney Villainous. And if you guys want to watch us play, we will be playing this tomorrow night at 8 p.m. If you want to watch more types of videos like this, make sure you let us know down in the comments what other type of board games you'd like to see us play. Or if you'd like to see us play some more Pokemon games. We might be able to go find some of those older Pokemon board games. With that said, guys, appreciate you for watching. And until next time, peace.